front of you. One has a market cap of $158 billion, and one is a startup, Scoutible.
Yeah.
Aspired to it. Exactly.
Goals.
Yes. So I'm going to just give you their names and titles, and then I'm going to ask the two of you to introduce yourselves, and then I'm just going to conduct a little dialogue with the two of you, and we can take questions. So Darren Oliver is the Vice President of Human Resources for Comcast in the Bay Area?
In California.
In California. So small little job. All of us. They're all customers. Of course.
Okay.
And Tyler Law is the Vice President at Scoutible. So Darren, do you want to start with your introduction?
Sure, okay. I've been at HR and operations actually for 30 plus years, so a couple of years. So what we're going to talk about, technology, is something that I've seen evolve over time, and it's so cool what's happening now, and I hope to share some things that Comcast is doing in that space. So I'm interested to learn from Tyler what you're doing as well. Tyler and I haven't met before, so we're going to meet in front of you. How you doing? Nice to meet you. And I have been with Comcast. Today is my 6-year anniversary, so I made it 6 years. And prior to that, I was with Kaiser Permanente for 9 years. Prior to that, I was in the hospitality industry with Four Seasons Hotels and Paris, Las Vegas, so during the opening. So kind of a diverse background. But the thing I love about HR, when I got into it when I was very young, is I was told it's a transferable trade. So you may skip industries, but it's basically a similar function, as you guys know. So I'm looking forward to sharing what I know about the workforce and technology.
Great, welcome.
Hey everybody, Tyler once again. So I've spent 8 years developing games professionally. 6 of those years doing it in the more educational games market, actually, which has been really exciting. We've gotten to work with lots of diverse groups of people, from MIT, National Geographic, Sandra Day O'Connor, making our games. So my games and things I've done in my past have targeted anywhere from college law students all the way down to 6 and 8-year-olds to get them energetic and moving. Also also meditation games. So a whole gamut of things, all very kind of interesting games, very heavy goals. So right now I'm on Scoutible, doing that with Scoutible, and we're looking to make a game that gets cognitive abilities along with the personality traits of players, along with a plethora of other data on different things and choices they make throughout the game, and apply machine learning to it, and try to find jobs where they'll be perfect fits, and will be the happiest fit and also the most productive fit. So that is our goal, and right now we're currently piloting our first version of this product with companies. We have a really diverse team from Stanford PhD in psychology to the CEO, Angela Antony, who's Harvard MBA that worked in the White House on lots of job policy. It's actually where she got the idea. And Mark Cuban's our lead investor right now. So yeah, so had a really exciting past year, making some really cool stuff and working with some really cool people.
Did you get funded on Shark Tank?
No. I wouldn't have worked in fun.
Okay, well, so Darren, let's start with you. Talk to us about what some of the critical talent needs are at Comcast, and what are you doing to try and source for those talent needs?
Great. Well, the big categories are our techs that are in the field. We have 4,300 people in California. There's 120,000 in Comcast nationwide, and over half of those folks are actually techs or engineers, or people that work at these technical head ends, we call them, where all your cable sort of goes into one hub, and we monitor that and make sure that it works. The other disciplines we have are call centers, of course. Call centers probably make up about 25% of our workforce. We also have all the regular functions, finance, the administrative functions are out there, and then also sales. So we have Comcast business salespeople, we have residential salespeople. So it's a pretty diverse workforce, and it's been very interesting as we look at HR in these workforces, because the biggest enemy that we're always fighting in HR is churn. And the positive way, because I'm an optimist, is retention, right? So the good news is that churn in Comcast is pretty good. In California, our churn right now, we're at about 20%. If you look at that big workforce, the tech field, the folks in the field, it's around 10%. So that's pretty good when you look at comparable industries with churn. We have a strong culture, and once we get a hold of folks, they tend to stay. It's the front end turnover that we struggle with. And depending upon the discipline, that can range from 60% to 35%. So I'd say about 70% of our churn, employee turnover, is actually happening within the first 6 months of employment. So what you're talking about, Tyler, is very interesting to me, and we're going to be piloting with a company, and I'd love to sort of share the thoughts on that and get your take on it, because this is brand new stuff. Do you want me to keep going?
Well, let me drill down on a question.
Okay.
So as you define those categories that
Yes.
are your needs categories, and you listen to this dialogue about trying to get the supply side to match the demand side, how do you go out into the market and access, say, students coming out of the community college district for some of those positions that would only require a 2-year degree?
Yeah, it's funny you mention this, because we, in Fresno this year, it all has been ad hoc and informal, and relationships. We send our talent teams to community colleges and hire with Comcast, here's how to apply. So there's never been a real program. In Fresno, in 2017, we're starting something called Tech Connections with Fresno Community College and their Workforce Investment Board. And basically, in a nutshell, as a student, I could find a semester that will qualify me to get preferential treatment during an interview to be a technician. So once I'm done with that semester, which I don't pay for, the Workforce Investment Board pays, Comcast pays, then we will have a specialized list of fast-lane candidates that come into our organization that are guaranteed interviews, and we're anticipating hiring 80% of those folks to come out of that program. So that's something we're doing it from an organized way to deal with this.
Yeah, that's a great example. So hopefully you can be active in our infrastructure group and access the 28 community college network.
That's our goal,
Yeah.
is to really expand this thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Great. So Tyler, shifting to you, you talked about Scoutible and what at the top level you're doing, but so it sounds like an automated version of what color is my parachute, for those of us who are analog and not digital. But so like, what's your target market, and how are you kind of selling your product into companies? Like, what is the value prop?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the number that did it for us, that we saw just sort of like having inside of this whole company, was the fact that 46% of all hires fail in the U.S. in the first year or so. And yeah, exactly. And the turnover rate, something like 89% of the turnover rate of companies can be attributed to soft skill mismatch. So the question became pretty obvious to us, how can we address that? How can we assess somebody's soft skills and let their soft skills speak for them, let them be as strong or stronger than the resume even possibly? And so we looked at what is out there currently, what things do these things, and some of them are a battery of cognitive and psychological tests. Some would take days or weeks for a candidate, and we said that's kind of crazy, right? So we asked ourselves, could we do this in a more frictionless way, in a scalable way? And the solution we came to was using a game, a mobile game, to do it. It gives you lots of data points. It does have those really kind of finite moments that are kind of like analogous to a question on a question or something, but they're more obscure. They're in gameplay, and you don't necessarily know what we're asking. So ideally, we'll be able to get a stronger read on this person's personality potential, and as we apply more and more machine learning to the data we get, we actually will be able to get incredibly nuanced insights into these people's personalities based on all the multitudes of things they do within our game environment. So we think we really easily can position ourselves as a more frictionless, quicker way for employers to onboard applicants and get insight into what their current capabilities are, in a very frictionless, cheaper, easier way, scalable as well. I think it's a pretty compelling sell, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like too that as a big group of students, that could be an interesting tool to help students direct themselves into different
Absolutely.
applications.
It's something we're extremely interested in. We think as far as like giving people insights into themselves, people very much so enjoy getting insights into themselves. People see it via Facebook quizzes they take all the time. Not scientific, but people love getting insights into themselves, and also there's a lot of very tractionable things you can do with that insight. And we're really excited about it, but we think right now our lowest hanging fruit is to prove this with a company and pilot it with companies and prove that we can place these jobs, and we can place people that retain longer, that are happier, and that work better. So that's where we're going for. We love the idea that we could be used for that in the future, near future.
So Darren, what kind of technology tools do you currently use in your recruiting, onboarding, retention
Well, funny, because we are right now pivoting to a new technology similar, and I'll share it with you, Tyler. We've just contracted to pilot with the Shaker company for our call centers. And let me preface this by saying that Comcast is on a mission to make the customer experience its best product. And so we really have to start with call centers. So we've we've contracted with a company called Shaker out of Cleveland, Ohio. Are you familiar with that?
Actually, I'm not, so I'd love to know more.
Yeah, so they have something that's called the virtual job tryout. And so basically it's interactive. You go online, you do have an interactive 30-minute job tryout. So we customize that interactive experience to what it's like to, say, to work in one of our cable stores. And we basically make the skill level comparable to someone who's got the prerequisites to qualify for the job. So they don't have to know our systems or anything, but they have to know how to deal with a customer who's having a problem, and some really fundamental skills. And currently, we don't have anything like that. It's just one of those assessments that you fill out. It takes 45 minutes. In fact, we have a 50% fallout rate. People just go, oh, this assessment, and then we never hear back from them again. And the company that we currently use, I won't name them, but they said that we will screen out 30% of your candidates that apply. Realistically, we're screening about 5 to 7%, so most people are getting through it. So with this new technology, this virtual job tryout, we've seen an Amazon, Red Bull, Starbucks, I'm not going to go on, but so a lot of folks are doing this type of thing, and the real challenge is the discriminatory testing with this type of thing to make sure that there aren't certain populations that don't do well in this. But so far, our vetting has shown that this virtual job tryout uses those tests. But I wonder if we could start talking to you to really look at your company as an option.
Yeah.
So.
And what you mentioned is an extremely good point, though. In fact, we're a game. Like the question right off the bat we get often is, "Well, I'm not a game player. Does that discriminate against me?"
Right.
And but actually, the test groups and people that we're actually doing all based on are cross culture. And on top of that, we're also doing all sorts of intelligence metrics on the back too. That's probably not term properly. The data scientists probably went like this back in the office, but
What was the term?
yeah, exactly. So either way, though, we are getting a measure on your proficiency in gaming, and we're using that to mirror a lot of other results and things like that. But we're very self-aware of that. We've been self-aware of that from the beginning. It's extremely important. Yeah.
And let me just say that the cool thing about what we're talking about here, and even though there's a difference of nuance,
Yeah.
is that not only does the company get an assessment of the candidate gets an assessment of the company to see what it's like, and to start that job with confidence, I think is an important thing.
Yeah, that's a really good